Welcome to Cuckoo Crazy Crochet. Hi, my name is Ronnie, and today we are going to make this Thanksgiving treat bag. And this is what you'll need: a pair of scissors, 5mm hook, darning needle, a little bit of yellow yarn, a little bit of red yarn, a little bit of black yarn, a little bit of brown yarn, some orange yarn, and some tan yarn. Get your hook and your tan yarn ready, and we'll start with the face. First, we'll need to make a magic ring. Now you need 12 double crochets. And when mine is done, I'll be back. Once you have your 12 double crochets in your magic ring, close your magic ring and slip stitch into the first double crochet. Now you'll need to put 2 double crochets in each of the 12 stitches. I chain 2 at the beginning of each row. That does not count as a double crochet. Once you have that done, slip stitch to the beginning. Round 3 in your final round on this part. Chain 1 and turn. And we're going to slip stitch in each chain around. Slip stitch into the beginning. When you're done, you should have 24 when you're done. Make the slip stitches loose. Don't do them too tight. And when mine's done, I'll be back. When you're done, it should look something like this. Now leave a long tail for sewing. Put your tan yarn up and get your black yarn out, and we'll do the eyes. Once you have your black yarn ready, make a slip knot and chain 3. I'm sorry, chain 2. In the first stitch, make 3 single crochets. And slip stitch into the beginning. Pull your tail to make sure it's tightened. Any hole that might be there. Leave a little long tail to sew it on. And make 2. Now put your black yarn up. Get your yellow yarn out, and we'll make the beak. Great. Okay, now that you have your yellow yarn, make a slip knot and chain 4. the second chain from the hook, make 1 single crochet. In the third chain, make 1 half a double crochet. And in the last chain, make 1 double crochet. Leave a long tail for sewing. Make sure both ends are tight. Put your yellow yarn up, get your red yarn out. Now we're going to make the red thingy. Make a slip knot and chain 7. In the second chain from the hook, make 2 half a double crochets. If you hear noise in the background, my daughter is playing a game, so she gets a little screechy. Please excuse it. In the third chain, 2 half a double crochets. In the next 2 chains, 1 single crochet. And in the last 2 chains, 1 slip stitch. Make sure both ends are tight. Leave a long tail for sewing. Put up your red yarn and get your brown yarn out. We'll go ahead and make the drawstring. Once you have your brown yarn ready, make a slip knot and chain 62. And when mine is done, I'll be back. And this is what it should look like when it's done. Now go ahead and put up your drawstring and your brown yarn. It's time to sew the face on. So now you should have 1 brown, 1 tan circle, 1 red thingy, 1 beak, and 2 black eyes. Turn down my light, so maybe it won't glare so much at this part. Get your black eyes ready and your tan circle, and we'll sew the face on. Okay, first thing I do is I take the first little tail from the slip knot and I put it through the work. Then I take your original tail and we're going to sew around the eye. And you can also take a hot glue gun and glue these on, but I prefer to sew them on. Once you get it sewed on, I just take the two tails in the back, tie them in a knot, and then cut them off. That way you don't have to weave them in. Take your other eye and sew it on about right there. When mine is done, I'll be back. This is what it should look like so far. Next, we're going to take the beak and we're going to sew it the same way on with both tails in the back. We're going to sew the beak right under the eyes. And when mine is done, I will be back. This is what you should have so far. Okay, take the red thingy. We're going to sew it about halfway down the beak. You sew all the way down until you get down here where it comes off. Don't sew past this part. When mine is done, I'll come back and show you what I mean. Okay, so now this is what your face should look like. And this little part isn't sewn on. That's alright. So now set this aside and we'll mess with it later. Get your tan yarn out. It's time to make the bag. Okay, once you have your tan yarn out, you need to make a magic ring. With 12 double crochets. Once you have that done, slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now we need to make 2 double crochets in each stitch around, totaling 24 stitches. Now slip stitch into the first double crochet. Round 3, we're going to put 1 double crochet in the first stitch and 2 double crochets in the next stitch. One double crochet in the next stitch and 2 in the next stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. When you get to the end, you should have 36 stitches. Okay, rows 4, 5, 6, and 7, 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around for a total of 36 stitches at the end of each row. And when I get done with my 4 rows, I will be back. And this is what your bag should look like so far. Row 8. 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. then a double crochet decrease, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double decrease. This is your repeat all the way around, and when I'm done, I'll get back to you. Okay, you should have been putting a double decrease in the last 2 stitches. You should have 26 double crochets around row 9. One double crochet in the next stitch, then a double crochet decrease, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. In the last 2 stitches you should be putting a double decrease in, and when mine is done I'll be back. You should now have 18 double crochets all the way around. We're going to take time out from making the bag, and we're going to sew the face on. So turn your bag wrong side out, because this gives it a little bit of a different texture. At this part where you start your crochets, your double crochets, put it around to the back and flatten your bag. We're going to sew the face on right below the last row you did. And we're going to sew it on just like we sewed the face on. Keep in mind, there's 2 parts to the bag, so don't sew your face to both parts, just the one part. And when I have my face sewn on, I'll be back to tell you what to do next. Okay, once you get your face sewn on, it should look something like this. This little red thingy. It shouldn't be tight. Half of it should be sewn on, but this part of it shouldn't. So it just kind of sticks out. On our final row, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around, totaling 18 stitches. You can then fasten off, weave in your ends, and when I'm done with mine, I'll be back. And this is what your bag should look like so far. Get your drawstring out. We're going to go ahead and put it in. So you can go ahead and put up your tan yarn because we're done with it. I start from the back. And I weave it in between every 2 double crochets. ends together and close the bag. And fasten off the excess yarn. Alright, go ahead and get your orange yarn out and we'll do his feathers. Okay, on this part we need to flatten the bag again. And starting third row down, be this row here, we're going to make a slip knot. We're going to find the double crochet at the end of the row, and we're going to slip stitch into it. Now we need to put 2 half a double crochets, chain 1, 2 more half a double crochets. Then we're going to skip row 2, and in row 3 we're going to make another shell. 2 half a double crochets, chain 1, 2 half a double crochets. We're going to come up here along to the back, and underneath the stitch we're going to put 2 half a double crochets, chain 1, 2 half a double crochets. Skip 2 stitches and put another shell. Skip 2 more stitches and put another shell. Then we're going to find our double crochet in the first row, which is right here, and we're going to put another shell. Skip the second row, and in the third row we're going to put our last shell. And then slip stitch and fasten off. Weave in your yarn, put your orange yarn up and get your brown yarn out, and I'll be back. Okay, now we have our brown yarn. Second part of the feathers, and then you're done. So make a slip stitch. In the fourth row, we're going to make a single crochet, chain 1, and then into your chain 1 space we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. And in between each orange shell, we're going to put a half a double crochet. So I'll do that one more time with you. In a chain 1 space is a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. And in between the orange shells, 1 half a double. You're going to do this all the way around. When you get down here, after you do your shell in this one, you're going to chain 1 and then single crochet into the 4th round. Then fasten off and weave in your ends, and I'll be back when mine's done. And when you get done with that, this is what your bag should look like. I hope you've liked this tutorial. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my videos, please hit the notification button. Be on the lookout for my next video, which I will be making either a deer, reindeer, a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer treat bag, a Santa treat bag, or Frosty the Snowman treat bag. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be safe. Bye.